Somtochukwu had mastered the art of deception. In school, she was the rich girl, the one with a mansion in Enugu GRA, the one who traveled to London for summer holidays, the one whose family owned multiple cars. She wore confidence like an expensive perfume, masking every hint of struggle. But at home, reality was a different story. Her real home was a crumpled one-room apartment in Apapa, where she shared a team mattress with her little brother, Kosi. The walls had cracks, the fan barely worked, and when it rained, water dripped from the ceiling into a plastic bucket. Her mother, Mama Ife, worked tirelessly, waking up at 4 a.m. every morning to fry akara by the roadside. She used the little money she earned to put food on the table to pay Somtochukwu school fees at Queenfields International School, a prestigious private school where her classmates carried iPhones and wore designers. Somtochukwu didn't belong in their world, but she wanted to. So she lied. Somi, your house must be so fine. Chioma, one of the richest girls in her class, gushed one afternoon as they sat in the school cafeteria eating small chops. Somtochukwu laughed, flicking her braided hair behind her shoulder. Of course, we even just finished renovating the kitchen. My mom wants it to look like the ones in those foreign movies. Chioma sighed. Your life is so sweet. You are so lucky. Lucky, if only she knew. One Friday, Chioma came to school with big news. My birthday is coming up, and my parents are throwing me a party at the Auckland Hotel, she announced excitedly. Everyone gasped. The Auckland Hotel was one of the best hotels in Enugu. Fancy chandeliers, a rooftop restaurant, rich people everywhere. Somtochukwu smiled, pretending not to feel out of place. That sounds amazing. Chioma turned to her, and after my birthday, you should host the next party at your house. Somtochukwu's heart stopped. My house? She echoed, forcing a laugh. I don't know if my parents will allow that though. Chioma pouted. Come on. You always tell us about your mansion. Let's see it in real life now. Come on, girl. The other girls nodded in agreement. Somtochukwu felt her throat tighten. She had spent years perfecting her lies, but she had never planned for anyone to ask for proof. Still, she couldn't back down now. If she admitted the truth, they would laugh at her. She would lose everything. Her friends, her reputation, her entire identity. So she smiled and said, Okay, you can come next weekend. She had just made the biggest mistake of her life. That evening, Somtochukwu walked home slower than usual, her heart heavy with dread. When she reached her neighborhood, she hesitated before stepping into the compound. The paint on the building was peeling, and the scent of burnt firewood filled the air from the neighbors' cooking. Inside their one-room apartment, Mama Ife was seated on a small wooden stool, counting her earnings for the day. You are late, her mother said. Somtochukwu didn't answer. She was staring at the walls. The same walls she had spent years pretending it didn't exist. If Chioma and the others saw this place, they would know the truth. They would know she was a fraud. Somto, her mother called again, looking concerned. Are you okay? She forced a smile. Yes, Mama, I'm just tired. She couldn't tell her mother what was happening. She was into it too deep. That night, Somtochukwu lay awake, staring at the ceiling. She needed a way out. She considered faking an emergency. Maybe her family had to travel that weekend, but that wouldn't even solve the problem forever. Then an idea came in. She could pretend someone else's house was hers. It was risky, but it was her only chance. The next morning, she walked into GRA, pretending to visit a relative. She took pictures outside one of the big houses, carefully angling them so the gates and luxury cars were visible. She posted the pictures on her WhatsApp status with the caption, "Home Sweet Home." Her classmates saw it and they believed it. For a moment, she thought she had saved herself, but fate had other plans. 2 days before the party, Chioma came to school looking confused. "Somto, I have a question," she said. Somtochukwu forced a smile. "What's up?" Chioma hesitated. "Yesterday, my dad had a business meeting in GRA, so I told our driver to pass by your house." Somtochukwu's blood went cold. "But we didn't see your house," Chioma continued. "We even asked some of the security guards, and none of them knew the Wosu family." The wall tightened. Somtochukwu tried to swallow, but her throat felt dry. "Are you sure you went to the right place?" she asked, her voice shaking slightly. Chioma frowned. "Somto, be honest with me. Do you even live in GRA?" Somtochukwu felt her breath hitch. She opened her mouth to deny, to deflect, but before she could, Chuka, one of the boys in the group, spoke up. "I also checked," he said. "There is no Wosu mansion in GRA." A heavy silence fell over the group. Chioma's expression hardened. "You have been lying to us, haven't you?" The words hit like a slap. Somtochukwu felt the walls closing. If she admitted the truth, it was over. So she did the only thing she could. She lied. "That's nonsense," she snapped. "Maybe you went to the wrong street. If you don't believe it, come to my house yourself." The moment the words left her mouth, she regretted them. Because now she had no choice. She had to take them home. The next afternoon, as Somtochukwu led her friends down the street of Apapa, her stomach tweeted in fear. She prayed for a miracle, a distraction, anything. But none came. When they arrived at her real home, a small crumbling apartment building, the silence was deafening. "This is your house?" Chioma whispered. Somtochukwu couldn't answer. She was frozen in shame. Then the worst happened. The door creaked open, and Mama Ife stepped outside, wiping her hands on her clothes. "Somtochukwu, who are these people? Gendebonda?" Somtochukwu saw the warmth in her mother's eyes, the love, the trust, and she destroyed it in one breath. "Who are you, please? And how do you know my name?" "I don't know her," she said. Her mother's face crumbled. Chioma gasped. "What?" Somtochukwu forced a laugh. "She's just some woman in the compound. My real house is down the street." The lie tasted like poison. But it was late. Chioma and others were already stepping back, disgust clear on their faces. "You're a liar," Chioma spat. And just like that, it was over. Somtochukwu had only lost her friends. She had also lost herself. Somtochukwu froze at her mother's twisted face in pain. "You don't know me." Mama Ife's voice was barely above a whisper. But Somtochukwu had every ounce of the hurt in it. Chioma and the others were already backing away, disgust written all over their faces. You are a liar, Chioma spat. All these years you have been pretending. You made a fool of us. Of yourself the most. Somtochukwu felt her chest tighten. She wanted to explain, to take it all back, but what could she say? Her mother was still staring at her, waiting, hoping that this was some kind of a mistake. Somtochukwu couldn't bear to look at her. Instead, she turned to Chioma and the rest. Let's go, I will take you to my real house. Chioma laughed bitterly. We are not stupid, Somto. We have seen enough. With that, she turned and walked away, the others following behind her. Somtochukwu stood there, feeling the weight of the world collapsing. Her lies had finally caught up to her. And now she had lost everything. When the others were gone, Somtochukwu finally turned to her mother. Mama Ife didn't yell. She didn't scold. She just looked at her daughter with tired and broken eyes. You denied me, she said, quietly, in front of everyone for that matter. Somtochukwu swallowed hard. Mama, I go inside, her mother said. She obeyed without any other word, her legs shaking as she stepped into the small one-room apartment. Inside, her younger brother Kosi was sitting on the mattress, playing with a torn football. He looked up at her with wide eyes. Somi, why were you pretending? He asked innocently. She had no answer. She sat on the floor, burying her face in her hands. By Monday morning, the entire school knew. Everywhere she walked, she could hear whispers. Did you hear? Somtochukwu isn't rich. She lied about everything. She even denied her own mother. She tried to ignore them, but the shame was unbearable. When she entered the cafeteria, the usual spots where she sat with Chioma and others were occupied by them. She walked up slowly. Chioma didn't even look at her. This seat is taken. Somtochukwu's stomach twisted. But Chuka glanced at her with a smirk. Find another table, Somto. That was when it truly hit her. She wasn't just being gossiped about. She had been exiled. She turned and walked away, her cheeks burning with humiliation. She had spent years building a fake life, and now she had nothing. That evening, Somtochukwu came home and sat silently as her mother prepared dinner. The air was heavy. Mama, she finally said. Her mother didn't answer. Somtochukwu swallowed. Mama, I am sorry. Mama Ife turned to her face unreadable. Sorry for what? For lying. For denying you. Her mother let out a long, weary sigh. You think your shame is greater than mine? Somtochukwu blinked. You think I don't feel embarrassed when I see you pretending to be someone you're not? Mama Ife's voice cracked. You think I don't cry at night, wondering what I did wrong that made my own child ashamed of me? Tears pricked Somtochukwu's eyes. Mama, it's not like that. Then what is it like? Her mother asked. Tell me what it is like. Somtochukwu couldn't, because deep down, she knew the truth. She had been ashamed of where she came from, and in doing so, she had destroyed everything. The next morning, Somtochukwu debated whether to go to school or not at all. But staying at home wouldn't fix anything. So she forced herself to get up, dress, and walk through the school gates. The moment she stepped inside, she felt the weight of 100 eyes on her. She ignored them and went straight to class, keeping her head down. During break time, She sat alone under a tree, nibbling at the rice her mother had packed. For the first time in years, she felt truly invisible. And maybe that was better than being humiliated. As the weeks passed, the rumors died down, but Somtochukwu's reputation never recovered. She had tried to fit into a world that wasn't hers, and now she didn't fit anywhere. One afternoon, as she was leaving school, she heard footsteps behind her. She turned and saw Chioma. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Chioma sighed. "Why did you do it, Somto?" Somtochukwu looked down. "I just wanted to belong." Chioma shook her head. "You never had to lie. We would have liked you anyway." Somtochukwu let out a bitter laugh. "Would you?" Chioma hesitated, and that hesitation was all the answer she needed. Somtochukwu nodded. "That's what I thought." She turned and walked away. Maybe she had lost her old friends. Maybe she had lost the life she had pretended to have. But she wasn't going to lose herself anymore. And that was the first step towards rebuilding herself. Over time, Somtochukwu started to embrace the truth. She stopped pretending. She stopped hiding. She focused on her studies, helped her mother at the Akara stand, and slowly, she found a different kind of confidence, one that didn't rely on lies. And while she never regained her place with the popular crowd, she found something better. Real friends, real peace, and most importantly, real self-worth. Because at the end of the day, being true to yourself is worth more than any mansion, any designer bag, or any fake life. It was a hard lesson, but it was one she would never forget. Hey besties! We have come to the end of this interesting story. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you will never miss them whenever I post a new story. Till I come your way next time. Bye!